The rain started at exactly 11:47 p.m. That's what the 911 call log said later. But by the time anyone listened to it, everyone inside the Harper house was already gone. In the quiet suburbs of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the Harpers lived on a street where nothing ever happened. The kind of place where porch lights glowed warm, neighbors waved politely, and kids rode bikes until sunset. On October 14th, the storm rolled in without warning. Emma Harper was the first to notice something was wrong. The power didn't flicker. It didn't surge. It simply died. The entire house fell into suffocating darkness. Outside, thunder cracked so violently it shook the windows. Rain hammered the roof like thousands of fists. Emma fumbled for her phone, using its flashlight to cut a thin beam through the black. "Mark?" she called to her husband. No answer. Upstairs, something moved. Not footsteps. Not creaking wood. Something dragging. Slow. Deliberate. Emma's breath caught in her throat. "Mark?" she called again, louder this time. From upstairs came a single heavy thud. Then silence. 10 minutes earlier, Mark Harper had gone upstairs to check on their daughter, Lily. The hallway felt colder than the rest of the house. Unnaturally cold. Like stepping into a freezer. Lily's bedroom door was open. The window was wide. Rain blew inside, soaking the curtains. And Lily's bed was empty. "Lily?" Mark whispered. A soft giggle answered him. Not from the room. From the hallway behind him. He spun around. The hallway was empty. But at the far end, near the attic stairs, something darker than the darkness stood motionless. Watching. Mark tried to speak. The figure tilted its head and began crawling toward him. Not walking. Crawling. On all fours. Limbs bending at wrong angles. Joints cracking with every movement. Its eyes glowed faintly white in the pitch black. Mark stumbled backward into Lily's room and slammed the door. The giggling stopped. For 3 full seconds, there was nothing. Then scratching. Right outside the door. Long nails scraping wood. Slowly carving. Mark grabbed Lily's baseball bat and yanked the door open. The hallway was empty again. But the attic hatch at the end of the corridor was open. Back downstairs, Emma finally dialed 911. But instead of a dispatcher's voice, she heard static. And beneath it, whispering. Dozens of overlapping whispers. All repeating the same phrase. "Open the door." Emma dropped the phone. A loud bang echoed from the kitchen. She turned. Every cabinet door was open. Every drawer pulled out. Knives scattered across the floor. And the back door was wide open. Rain poured inside. Mud covered the tile. Small footprints tracked through the kitchen. Bare feet. Too small to be an adult's. Too large to be Lily's. They led toward the basement door, which slowly creaked open. The Harpers had never used their basement much. It was unfinished. Concrete walls. One bare bulb hanging from the ceiling. Emma stood frozen at the top of the stairs. From below came the sound of breathing. Deep. Wet. Strained breathing. Then Mark screamed. It wasn't a long scream. It was cut short. Abruptly. Emma's heart nearly stopped. "Mark!" she shouted. No answer. The basement light flicked on. By itself. Emma forced herself to move. One step down. Then another. The air grew colder with every stair. Halfway down, she saw it. The walls. Covered in writing. Scratched into the concrete. Hundreds of times. The same sentence. "We live here now." Her flashlight flickered. The bulb overhead burst. Darkness swallowed everything. The police arrived at 12:32 a.m., responding to multiple calls from neighbors who heard screaming. The front door was open. Rain soaked the hardwood floors. The house was empty. No bodies. No blood. No signs of forced entry. Only mud. And scratches. Long, deep gouges carved into walls and doors. The basement stairs were splintered, as if something enormous had been dragged up them, or down. On the living room wall, written in thick black streaks, was a final message. "Thank you for letting us in." The Harper family was declared missing. No suspects. No leads. No explanations. But 3 weeks later, the house sold. Cheap. Far below market value. A young couple moved in. Tom and Rebecca Lawson. They laughed when neighbors warned them about the Harper house. "It's just an old storm story," Tom said. The first week was normal. Quiet. Peaceful. Until the rain came back. Exactly 3 weeks after they moved in. 11:47 p.m. The power didn't flicker. It died. Rebecca lit candles while Tom checked the breaker. It wasn't the breaker. All the switches were off. As if someone had flipped them deliberately. Upstairs, a door slammed. Rebecca froze. "Tom? I'm down here!" he shouted from the basement. Downstairs? But she had just heard him behind her. A whisper brushed her ear. "Open the door." Rebecca spun around. The hallway stretched longer than it should. The walls looked darker. Wet. Like they were sweating. At the end of the hall stood a little girl. Soaking wet. Hair covering her face. Bare feet muddy. "Lily?" Rebecca whispered, though she had never met her. The girl slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were completely white. Her mouth stretched too wide. Too far past human limits. She smiled. And behind her, more shapes emerged from the walls, pressing through like they were made of liquid shadow. Dozens of pale faces. Watching. Waiting. The basement door exploded open. Tom stumbled out, covered in scratches. "They're in the walls!" he screamed. The shadows rushed forward. Candles blew out. The house filled with deafening whispers. "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." When police returned, the Lawson house was empty. Again. No bodies. No blood. No forced entry. Only one thing new. Carved deeply into every surface of the home. From floor to ceiling. Room for more. The city tried to demolish the house. But every demolition crew quit. Workers reported hearing voices inside the walls. Tools disappeared. Machinery malfunctioned. One bulldozer operator swore he saw faces pressing against the windows, screaming silently. The house still stands today in Cedar Rapids. Empty. Unoccupied. But not abandoned. Because if you drive by during a storm, at exactly 11:47 p.m., you might see the lights turn on. One room at a time. From basement to attic. And in the upstairs window, a little girl standing still. Watching the street. Waiting. For someone new. Someone who needs shelter from the rain. Someone who will open the door. And once you do, you won't hear screaming. You won't see blood. You won't even feel pain. You'll just hear whispering. Soft. Grateful. Right before the darkness takes you. And the walls begin to breathe. "Thank you for letting us in."